All right. So we have J.Hutton back in the studio for the second time.
Let's go.
How are you, man?
I'm good. Good. Record's out.
Yeah.
Things are good. Things are moving. Things are a little stressful. Things are kind of nice. It's been a good couple months. It's been like super productive, and we've all just been like killing it. And it's kind of nice to have it out. It's been like 2 years of work.
Yeah.
And to kind of have it off my shoulders in a couple senses is really nice.
Yeah.
You know, like the stress of like, I don't know. It feels like I'm starting something new, which is really great.
Yeah.
It's exciting, I think.
Definitely. I mean, so what's interesting to me about this project is that it's a 6-song EP, and there's so many musicians out there that will just like drop a few songs and they'll just be like, hey, here it is, it's out there.
Yeah.
You've taken a completely other approach where it's a whole project. It's not just an EP. To me, it seems like a creative vision, having followed it for the past year or so. You mentioned it's taken you 2 years, and it's like, it's not just 6 songs. It's, cover art for each single. It's music videos that you've produced. Even down to comedy skits.
Yeah. Well, it's at the end of the day, it is entertainment, even though it is like, it's art to me. But, when you're releasing things to the public, it should be entertaining. So even down to like the promos that we're releasing right now, it's something that I think people would want to watch and find humorous, and then also just kind of go, also like there's a project out. Everything could kind of stand on its own, but everything's interconnected, which is really, it's what we tried to do with the first project, but like it was too scattered genre wise, and nothing had like a kind of like a through line almost. But this one, I wanted it to be like a project. I wanted it to be like a full story. So, every single works on its own, but it works best together. And that's the same with the music videos. It's the same with the promos. It's the same with everything that we've put out, especially the artwork. I wanted everything to kind of seem like it's from the same universe and not just coming random ideas and random ideas and random ideas, and then nothing's cohesive. And you're just like, we're living in a single culture right now. So, keeping that in mind, it's good that everything is strong on its own, but together, stronger. Yeah. It's like Planet of the Apes. Yeah. One monkey weak, all monkeys strong. When he has all the branches.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that about what you've been doing, because as you said, it creates a whole universe, a J.Hutton universe. You know, when, like you said, around 2 years ago, this whole project started. Is that like a vision that you had, and you're now like you've seen through, or has it just like kind of developed to be this whole thing?
It's kind of like, yeah. I mean, a lot of this, we didn't really have the luxury of like being able to take a lot of time between records. You know, like we're just starting out. I don't have like that much clout. And we ended up leaving the label that we were with. And then I just had like the fear of God put in me, and it was just like do or die. So I wrote, there's actually originally, I think like 8 or 10 songs, and we just picked the best ones that work together. And just from that, kind of figuring out everything along the way, kind of getting like, it started with like a Pinterest board and then a color palette, and then working our way out from there. Like before this happened, I didn't know how to like do any type of videography, and that wasn't really a part of the plan. But I'm kind of, I'm tired of hiring people, and like this isn't a knock on anybody that I've worked with. Everybody that I've worked with has been incredibly talented, but it never really quite felt right. And it always felt like I had different people doing different things, and then the outcome was not cohesive. So now I feel like I have the capability to be able to do my own artwork. I have the capability to do my own videography. I have the capability to like make and write my own music. So with all of those things, I can now, like moving on to the next one, kind of see it all together as one thing. Like right from the jump and right from the get-go, and then have everything prepared by the time we start rolling everything out, that it's like, yeah, I have a vision now and I'm capable of executing it with a certain level of quality, and that's only going to keep getting better.
Yeah.
And the more funding we get is really going to help.
Yeah, and that's the luxury also of being an independent artist, is that you do have control over what you put out, and
it's fantastic. It's been really good kind of for like my self-worth and like my confidence kind of moving forward, because now it really feels like I'm not at I'm not what's the word? I'm not relying on anybody else.
Yeah.
So if we go into a meeting, I know what I can do. I know what I'm capable of. And it's just been such a great kind of self-affirming process of doing this.
Yeah.
It's good. I can walk with my chin held high.
Definitely.
Yeah.
As you should be. And speaking of that, well, you had your image on one of the largest billboards in the city, just down the street from here.
Right at the heart of Toronto.
How did that feel?
Felt good, you know?
Yeah.
It was absolutely wonderful to see. And like, you know, we started in a basement and now we're on one of the biggest billboards in the city, which is pretty crazy when you stop to think about it. But, you know, I was thinking about this morning, that it was kind of just reaffirming that the clout and, you know, the numbers and all that kind of stuff doesn't really matter to me. Yeah. I think that there was a time in my life where that would have been like
a bigger deal to you.
A bit of a bigger deal, and I'm not discrediting how great it feels, but you know, I've done a lot of work over the past year to kind of try and identify the parts of this that are really important to me, and that's mostly the people I work with, my friends, and the music that we make together. You know, those are the things at the end of the day that matter the most, because I am welcomed with such a crazy amount of love and support from the people that are around me. And that is like, dude, that is a crazy gift to have.
It's everything.
Yeah, it's absolutely everything. Yeah. You know, like we went and saw the billboard, and if I was just by myself, like, what does it matter? Right. It never happened, you know? But I was there with Lush, I was there with Casey and Nessa, and like, it was just it felt great. It just felt great. And like, I think also what's the more important thing of this is just to be able to pull the light kind of more towards our community and just showing like, this is what we're doing. This is what we're capable of. Stop overlooking us. We're incredible at what we do. So, you know, like this is just the start of it. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of my friends up there. And yeah, I hopefully more billboards also. I do enjoy money. I'm not just, I like money. Where's my camera? I like money a lot. But it's not the most important thing. But this thing, it's like, it's a great start and a great kind of clout builder. And I hope that it can open the doors to, you know, more funding to hire more of my friends. Yeah.
Very well said. Very well said. I completely agree, and I know the community that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it means everything, especially like if you look at your last show at the Horseshoe, for example.
Yeah.
I mean, to just, you know, like to have everyone. Yeah. I mean, we spent all night.
Yeah.
You know,
it was
celebrating.
Fantastic.
And I mean, what's particular about you is that, and you can even see this. I know you said numbers aren't everything, but even on your Spotify numbers, it's like, it's active listeners. You can kind of just tell by the numbers. And then when you go to a show, you can also tell because people are singing the songs.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what's crazy. Like, we didn't put out music for like a year and a half. Numbers didn't change like at all. Like they just stayed there. No playlisting.
Yeah.
You know, like no real support other than just me on TikTok spamming out of my face, just being like, hey, listen to my music. And, you know, like that was really the only means of like marketing that we had.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's incredible. Like the Horseshoe was sold out, and there was a couple times where I just backed off the mic to see what was happening, and people were singing along the entire time, which was it was an unbelievable feeling.
Yeah. Even Sifu, which is a brand new song.
It was like it was out for like 2 weeks, and I heard like the chorus sung back to me. I'm like, oh, that's how we're feeling.
Yeah.
My biggest regret though is not giving Jeremiah like 40 minutes to just solo over that.
Jeremiah killed it.
He absolutely murdered that.
Yeah.
And especially like that song, like moving forward, I think we'll probably end up doing like a maggot brain funkadelic thing and just let him go. I'll just walk off, go get a drink, come back.
Yeah. I really loved his performance, especially with like the slide guitar and
he had never really done that before. Like in practice, like we got him a slide from the vending machine at Lynx.
Really?
Yeah. And it was great. Casey was unbelievable. Dan was unbelievable.
As always, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great show. And man, okay. In December, I got COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I was okay for a day. Then I got strep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a cold. And then we had the show. And like there was, this is not super pleasant. There was a tube blocked in my ear that like I couldn't really sing and I couldn't really hear from. So during the rehearsals, I was like so nervous. I was drinking this concoction of ginger, garlic, lemon, honey, and like turmeric. And it smelled insane.
Yeah.
Casey told me, he's like, if you are going to continue to drink with this, you're going to need to find a new bass player. I opened it up in the car one time and everyone was like, oh, I'm like, I'm the one drinking it. I understand how this tastes and smells. It's inside me. I was like running on like, I was going for like long runs and I smelled like, I don't even know. It was like the most wild thing coming out of my pores.
Yeah.
But we got there and it actually went really well. So
yeah,
I got like a shot of tequila and an adrenaline rush, and I was like, okay, let's go.
Yeah. No, it was really good. I was there with because you know Ness always goes to the front. And I make enemies if I go to the front.
I understand, you're a very tall man.
But so I stayed back with Sir Dan and Serena who were out with us that night, and Serena, but at the end of the show, she was like, "Wow, like that was incredible." But it's like I didn't recognize any of those covers, and I was like, "Those." I was like, "They're not covers.
Yeah,
those are his originals." And she's like, "No way!" So she looked you up after, but
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I only play B-sides.
So in terms of the EP, I was listening to it this morning all the way through.
Okay.
And it kind of felt like I got broken up with at the end. Because it starts off, it's so upbeat, and it's talking like, to me at least, it seems like it's a lot about like this sort of innocent love and like traveling around the world together and doing things and like stick with me, and then the last song, Leave Me.
Yeah. I think it's kind of hopeful at the end. I don't think
it's a nice message.
I don't think it sounds a lot more depressing than I think it really is.
No, I don't think it was depressing, but it was more realistic. It was a very realistic take, I think. Because what I got from it was like, if this isn't working out for you anymore, then do us a favor and go.
Yeah. That's kind of exactly it.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's hopeful that like I'm gonna come back and it's still gonna be okay. Mm-hmm. And that was my goal of this project, was to make a series of love songs, make a love story that was realistic and not schmarmy and not coated in sugar and disgusting to listen to. You know, I think there's way too much of that, and it's not realistic to any of us, and it's not doing us any favors.
Yeah.
You know, our expectations of everything, and I think especially because of social media, the internet was a mistake. I'm going to say that right now. It was a misstep. I don't think it should have happened.
Yeah.
Our expectations of things are incredibly unrealistic.
Yeah.
And we have been sold a lot of
fairy tale or what?
A lot of fairy tales that are not true. Things are not always going to be good. Things are not always going to be sweet. And especially, when it comes to romance, there is a lot of hardship, and I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And the real parts aren't, oh my God, I love you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I love you so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that, the most beautiful parts of life, I think, are in the most monotonous moments.
Mm-hmm.
That's when things open up and that silence becomes really loud and it's really good. And that's what I wanted to get across in this EP. And I kind of buried a lot of my thoughts on it in a moderate tongue-in-cheek way,
mm-hmm.
but into these songs. I put a lot of myself into there.
Yeah. So that's interesting because last time you were here, you're talking about what made this project different.
Mm-hmm.
And it was along the lines of what you just said, where you put more of your own songwriting into it, more of yourself, as opposed to like what you think a song should look like.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can see that, especially if you look at like Queen of Parkdale,
mm-hmm.
which is a fantastic song. But yeah, you can see that difference where like Queen, right? Queen.
Yeah.
Like what does a queen mean? Right? That's a fairy tale, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And my manager told me, like a little after that first project, that I wrote songs bigger than myself.
Yeah.
And I really kind of took that to heart and shot a lot closer to the hip on this time.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really the only thing that matters, is to keep peeling that back. Because without it, you're just somebody else, Anybody can go into the studio and make a vibe. Anybody can go in and write a hit song. You see it right now with like the TikTok thing. Like
mm-hmm.
they get a really good hook, little 15-second thing, and it's a flash in the pan, and then you're done. But there's so much more that goes into this than just writing something that's catchy. The thing that I care about is stripping it away to find out what I sound like at my very core.
Mm-hmm.
And to kind of use this as the tool of self-discovery and self-exploration and essentially making myself feel uncomfortable, which I sometimes is really, I'm doing the Artist Way right now, which is like a 12-week thing, and I'm journaling like every morning. I'm
mm-hmm.
doing 4 pages, like with my morning coffee, and like the stuff that comes out of that, that's the stuff that's important. The path, no, that sounds too corny. The process of being an artist is what's important, not the outcome of
mm-hmm.
what you do, not your output. And there was a long period of my life where I put way too much emphasis on the output and judge my self-worth on what I was doing. And that cuts you off to the sense of play, essentially, of why you wanted to do this in the first place. It's fun to play music, and it's fun to figure out who you are. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, which is, if it takes me 15 years to develop a career,
mm-hmm.
that's fine with me. Because the people that will kind of tag along are the people that I want.
Yeah.
I don't want to be poof and then gone forever.
Yeah.
I want to make art essentially for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I have a bunch of North Stars on people that have managed to do that. And I have friends that put their art over clout.
Yeah.
And I think that that's so sick.
Yeah.
That's what I'm interested in.